One of our next guests is running back for the University of Texas and a projected first-round draft pick, inshallah. But he's not just an athlete, he's also a successful businessman. Due to recent changes finally in NCAA rules, student athletes can now enter name, image, and likeness partnerships, or NILs. And he's partnered with the CEO and founder of CALLEN, did I pronounce that right?
Yes.
Closest?
Yes, closest.
To create his own brand of gourmet Dijon mustard called, wait for it, Bijan Mustardson. Please welcome Bijan Robinson and Craig Allen to the South by Southwest studio. Welcome, first and foremost.
Thank you, thank you.
Respect to Bijan Mustard. I think the name itself deserves some sort of an award. Well done. Whose idea was it?
I was us at CALLEN. We had the idea after watching too many UT football games.
Is it delicious? We're going to talk about it more, but is Bijan mustard delicious?
It is. It's,
All right.
it's actually really good.
It's actually really good.
Really good.
I'd say it's the best.
See, you gotta flex with that.
All right.
Yeah, you
There
gotta
we
say it's
go.
pretty
Now-
good.
now I see where we're going.
Yeah, you gotta be
It's
like,
definitely the best.
we like the
greatest mustard of all time.
we like
It
the
is, it is.
humbleness,
It
but
is.
like
It's
you
only
can
the
drop
greatest
the-
mustard
It's
of all
only the greatest
time.
mustard.
That's
I mean, aside from being the greatest mustard of all time, it's not bad.
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
All right,
It's
so
good.
for folks who don't watch football like me, for folks who don't know about
Yep.
what student athletes go through,
Yeah.
NIL. Look in the camera.
Yep.
Tell folks what NIL means.
Yeah, so NIL is, it's a new space in college football where kids get to profit off their name. And, I just think that, athletes work just so hard for, their respective teams and trying to, brand themselves in any way possible. And this was even before it happened. So now that it's happening, now that you get to like really, try to make a name for yourself in a different way other than just being on the field, I think it's just like so cool to see, so many different athletes create, new ventures for themselves in terms of getting into, like for me, mustard, talking to car companies, starting your own clothing brand, like just everything that you just weren't able to do. So now it's like, it's pretty much a sponsorship. How athletes, actors, cooks, they all get sponsored by something. So now that college athletes are able to get sponsorships and really venture out their names for something that hasn't been done before, I think it's just really cool.
And I think people don't realize, right?
Yeah.
College athletes, when they want, they'll tell you young men and boys, kids,
Yeah.
but they'll profit off you, right? And so when you're playing those NCAA games, it's your likeness,
Yep.
right? It's you with your stats, your Madden ratings. Yeah, but you don't get the money.
Right.
And what people haven't, I don't think people realize is for so long, these students who, they're young men, they're putting content out there, they're not getting the profit.
Right.
And so this is why it's a game changer. And I think this is why this partnership that you have here with Craig is so inspiring, and it creates a model for other athletes.
Yep.
Because now it's like, hey, if you're making money off my brand,
Right.
why am I not getting the money, right? Craig, is this the game changer where now young adults, you're only 21, can be
Yep.
like, hey, I deserve a piece of that green.
Absolutely. It's a long time. It's way overdue, right? And I think that somebody's making a lot of money, and it might as well be the people that are putting their bodies and their time on the line. So, yeah, for us, it was, when it first came out, it's been the wild, wild west since NIL started, right? Like nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew what the rules are. The rules change every week. So when it first started, it was just flooded with everybody holding up a product, whatever. Brands were just coming at kids on Instagram and everything. There was no rules. Nobody knew what was happening. And then it was just plugging products over and over again for just, little bits of money here and there. And then us having a history in branding and building brands, we just saw this as what a missed opportunity, especially for these kids that are still learning things, and some of them will go pro, like Bijan. Some of them won't, right? But how can you use
they have a
those
life
opportunities?
afterwards.
How can you use those opportunities to build something and learn something as well, not just make quick cash?
And when I see both of you together, I'm like, of course they'd be friends and business partners. This makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Bijan, a 21-year-old man, would be like, I want to befriend you, Craig. How did this partnership, the origin story of the superhero, if you will, Brave and the Bold, come about?
You could tell I lift a ton of weights.
Of course. No capes.
It was just at the gym where we're now. It was just kind of natural.
Yeah,
right?
it was natural, man. It was one day in the summer. You know, me and my marketing guy, you know, Brian Burney, you know, he's the best out there. You know, we went to, I think it was Topgolf, to have a meeting. And he was on the drive over, he was telling me, he was like, all right, man, so, you know, this is about to be I think it's gonna be a genius idea to do this mustard, Bijan Mustardson. And I was like, it sounds great. Like, this is actually, it sounds amazing. And this was, I think it was like July when we had this conversation.
Oh, less than a year.
Yeah. So when we got there, and you know, I met Craig, David. You know, we sat down and they pulled up. Like,
so you had to pitch them.
Again, nobody knew what to do. I didn't know what they were expecting. Yeah. We build pitch decks, so I said,
the only factor that united was mustard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bijan and mustard.
But as soon as we met each other, like, you just like felt like the aura in in all three of us, and all four of us, like, we were all just like sold before we even sat down.
Oh, that's right.
So when they brought it up to me and they said, like, this could be, you know, huge, and seeing the ideas and seeing where it can go, I was like, man, like, this is something serious. And I think that if we start it and see where it goes, then it could be, you know, a really big deal. And I mean, shoot, where are we 6 months in? Like, it's such a big deal.
It's the greatest mustard of all time.
The greatest.
You heard it here first.
It's the greatest mustard of all. But no, I mean, our relationship has just been just so solid. And I mean, just seeing the impact it makes on people. Like, people just don't even buy the mustard just because it's mustard or because it's a good mustard, but like, when they buy it, you know, it just makes them just so happy just to have it in their presence. And like, I just see people just smiling so much, and it's more of like a trend, pretty much. Like, yeah, you can always buy a condiment, and like, say you go to a condiment and buy one at the store, and then you're like, okay, it's just a condiment that I'm buying. But when they buy the mustard, it's like joy. It's like, man, like, I got this. Like, let me post it. Like, you know, it's
and also for others, isn't it like, I'm investing in Bijan, I'm investing in his future, I'm investing in college athletes.
Absolutely.
You know, I think the people who know, and there's people know football. This is a football country, right? And this is not, you know, this is nothing. I want to stress again. For years, parents and kids were like, yo, can we get something?
Totally.
And I feel like it's one of those situations now. This is the model where, oh, whatever I'm passionate about, people can invest in me and buy this.
Right.
And the question I have is, all right, so you mentioned some people love watches, some people love cars. Mustard. Why mustard?
Yeah, and I just think that, like,
for you, like, why mustard? Like, what of all the things you could do, like, mustard, we're going to go with mustard.
Well, I mean, first of all, the name just, like, it just made sense.
Easy
like,
money.
It was
Easy money.
It was easy, yeah.
Slam dunk,
if
I may use another sports metaphor.
Yes.
It was.
All in one.
It was. And I think that, like, yeah, I mean, you probably wouldn't expect, you know, an athlete to do mustard. But that's why it's so special, because, you know, it's something that people didn't expect, and you make something, you know, get creative out of it. And I mean, as creative as we are, and I mean, Craig, and having just all these, like, the ultimate ideas of what we're trying to do, I mean, it was just so huge, in a space where it's so big with kids, it's big with adults. Like, you wouldn't expect a kid to go in a grocery store and want to buy some mustard. Like,
I mean, some kids. There's a few mustard aficionados, but most kids.
Right.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Kool-Aid.
yeah, they go
right. Ice cream.
They go to candy aisle. Like, that's where they're heading to. But now, like, I just hear all the stories of, like, man, my kids, like, want to go to the mustard section. I'm like,
that's because of me. That's because of me.
I was like,
Well,
hey.
it's funny because, you know, us looking for opportunities, if you go to the condiment aisle, there's not a lot of fun that's happening, right? So it's pretty, you need mustard, you need
A1
ketchup.
steak sauce. I mean, it makes you happy, but does it bring you joy?
No,
joy.
it's just
the thing.
you just got to have it, right? So we saw that and we're like, no one's having any fun. And the crazy thing has been, obviously, Bijan is a UT football running back. So, but my friends that are, you know, rival fans are like, I did not want to buy this mustard, but it is so funny. Like, I can't help it. So we have people that'll write to us on Instagram being like, I hate the Longhorns, but, like, take my money. It's just too funny, you know. So that just shows you where it's like, Bijan is the entry level, but what the brand is and the fun that we're having on social and everything and interacting with people, people love it.
You've worked with a lot of entrepreneurs, you've worked with a lot of talent, you've worked with a lot of athletes. What is it about Bijan that makes this relationship special?
Oh man, so much. Well,
Listen, this is so today, just to let you know, setting the tone. There's a lot of snark, but every single interview we've had, there's been an earnest zone and sentiment zone. So we're going for sincerity, earnestness, and compliments. It's a safe space.
fair enough. I think that, if you meet Bijan, you get to know him. He's the most personable, nice dude on the earth. Sometimes I'm like, I think he's too nice. But he also, it's just everything we show him, we're laughing together. It's never like we're cramming the stuff down each other's throat. I don't think we've ever had an argument or a fight. It's just kind of, it's like it's almost like a writer's room, if you will. When we get together, we say, what about this? What about this? We're just laughing. We're like, we got to do that. So it's, a lot of people would be worried about that. And I kind of went to him in the beginning. I've worked with every athlete from every type of sport under the sun. And I said, I'm a UT fan. So we started from a place of earnesty. So I said, I want to help you and however I can and help the university. That's how it really started. So I said, I've worked with all these athletes, all the names you've heard of, and I want to help you and become better acting, learn some business stuff together along the way, and how can we help each other? And he's been, crap, I can't say enough good things.
Listen,
I appreciate it.
Listen, you got to say something nice about this poor guy now. Come on. Just try if you can. Just say something nice about
physique, your looks or anything.
Everything that he said, it's and vice versa. This is the nicest man, you can work with in terms of just life, just having a good time. In business, it was a real blessing that God put Craig in my life, just because, you go in this cold, and you're an athlete, and you want everything to happen so fast for you, whether it's in business or on the field or on the court, anywhere. But it's the people that you're around that really ultimately
that can make you or break
you. And this is the man right here. The things that he's done, obviously, in the sports world and business world, before meeting me was incredible. So just having him, be a person of mine that I can, just talk to and just have fun, just smile with. And the ideas that he comes up with is
but
incredible.
That's it's really encouraging, because as a father of three, right, and I'm at that stage in my life where I look at young men like yourselves, and I often think, and knowing friends and talking to people who are athletes, right, they didn't have guidance,
right,
they didn't have mentors,
right.
So it's like run, jump, be good, don't get injured, and then there's life after sports, even if you have a great career. And so just to, give us an insight, what exists right now for these young men, right? Because it's always about succeed, but do they have the training, the mentorship to really prepare them just for finances?
Yeah, so now that it's starting to get more, now that they're starting to see more NIL, they're starting to see more opportunity when it comes to money. Especially me, I'm trying to encourage these kids to go find somebody that can talk to you about how to manage your money, how to use it. Where to put your finances at, because the surprising thing is kids will just try to find these deals that probably don't make sense, and all they want is to get a buck out of it, and then they'll spend it right away. And I'm like that's not the point.
Well, no one's taught them savings.
Exactly. And some kids come from areas where like you just said, they haven't been taught. So now I think that athletes listen to athletes more than they'll listen to just another person coming to tell them. So if I can use my voice to help them, use their money the right way of what I'm learning currently still, I think it'll really help them out a lot. And as kids are starting to really see opportunities from colleges and from just opportunities of making a lot of money, even without trying to get a deal. I think it's really cool, really encouraging, but at the same time, you don't want to just go in there and get the money and then just throw it all away that fast. You got to learn how to invest in it, learn how to make it grow. And
you're only 21, and you're the #1 draft prospect, and you're doing all of this.
Yes, sir.
Well done, sir. Well done. The question I have then is for underdogs, right? We all love a good underdog story, and I got to go back to Mustard. Bijan Mustard, you said so far the response has been great. People love it. It's funny. Kids like it. Even rivals who hate those blasted Longhorns.
They love it.
But we have titans in this industry. You got Heinz, right, and others. How do you compete with shelf space with these corporate behemoths?
I mean, it's about building a lasting brand that people want to hang out with and want to interact with, right? And again, in that, you talk about Heinz, but I think if you went to most people on the street and say, why do you like French's mustard or Heinz ketchup? And they'd say, because I eat ketchup and mustard, right?
Yeah.
So it's...
We don't know any better.
Right, I mean, it's just, there's not a lot to, you just have to give anybody a reason to care at all.
You
right?
need a story behind it.
Yes, and so I think that when people saw this, because it's not in a cheap mustard, we made it really well. That was what really important to us from the beginning was you buy it once for novelty, you buy it twice because it's good. So that was really important from us, and we made a very nice
It has to be
mustard.
tasty.
Yes, and people love it. And in fact, most of the people when I first seen them, they go, it's actually pretty good. And I'm like,
Thank God for
yeah.
low bars.
Yeah. They're like, it's just mustard, and I assumed it was going to be bad because it's a joke. And then they
Yeah.
taste and they go, it's actually good. And people cook with it, and they're making all these recipes with it, and chefs are using it,
Yeah.
and it's that's when it gets good. So it was very important to us to make a nice product, and then make a brand that people love. You know, and we do little things like that we didn't have to do on game days. Whenever Bijan scores, we have a hilarious, I think hilarious, branded shirt that we write the number of the touchdown that he scored, and the first person that responds to us on social gets that autographed shirt. And people, our count almost explodes every Saturday. You know,
yeah.
so and it's just like people are begging us for those shirts, and we're like, no, you got to get it when he scores.
But does that put pressure? I mean, when you're the brand, not just representing yourself, but now mustard, the success of the mustard depends on your success.
Right.
Right? And not just your success on the field, but the type of person that you are. You know, there's some athletes, we don't have to name them, they're going through some crises. Overnight,
Right.
they're stock tanks, right? So does that kind of force you to, I got to grow up early, I got to be disciplined, I got to make sure what I say, what I do. Oh yeah, I'm also 21.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, and like just how I was raised, man. Like I attest with like my faith. It's so big to me, and that's what really keeps me, you know, grounded the right way, and that really keeps my heart in a place of love and of, you know, humility in anything that I do, because, you know, I know that I've been blessed to play football and to, you know, grow myself and on the field, but you know, it's all the things off the field, you know, that you can profit yourself in as well. And like for me, I don't think there's no pressure, because, you know, it's just something that I just love to do. And I know that when we do things like mustard, and it's all gonna grow in itself. And like it's crazy, people aren't even like calling me by my name anymore. Like there's like,
hey bro, I'm
Bijan
also a running back.
yeah, like it became like such a like household name. Like they don't even say Bijan. Like they're just like, if you don't know who I am, they'll be like, you're the mustard guy. And I'm like,
Like a tear of
yeah.
pride.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
Your parents are like, that's what we, yes.
That's what
We always wanted to be the mustard
Right.
guy.
He is a unicorn, though, as a person. I mean, the way it just, as we're talking, you know, listening to him, it's like he's 21. Like I wish I had this perspective when I was 21.
Wish I had this when I was 41.
Yeah, exactly. Same. So I mean, as he's saying, like the giving back to the people. Bijan's always, he goes to, you know, other sports, not because he's told to, because he wants to go. So people like him is going to be what pushes this, you know, NIL deals forward, because and that wisdom that he can impart, because they're going to listen to him more than me.
Well, hopefully they listen to you. Hopefully other companies listen. Hopefully young athletes like yourself can pave the way and really just, you know, incentivize people to invest in these athletes, give them money. It helps them, it helps their families, it helps their communities. So many come from, like you said, low-income communities.
Yep.
But a person I need you to influence right now
Yeah.
is Coach Andy Reid. Andy Reid is notorious for disliking mustard. For the last time,
You a fan?
look right on the camera. Convince Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl winning coach Andy Reid that he needs to taste your delicious
Yeah.
Bijan mustard.
Yep. Well, Coach, you know, I know that you like hamburgers. I know that's your thing, your deal. So we're gonna get you a mustard, and I need you to put it on that hamburger, and I promise you'll change your life. You might never stop eating hamburgers, but you need the mustard with it. So you'll love it. hopefully we meet each other one day, and then you'll tell me how it is.
Final question. It has to be a football question.
Yeah.
I know it's a safe space. No one's listening. If you had your druthers, who would you like to play for?
Man.
Ideal place. Ideal place.
Whoever God blessing me to play with, man. Every team is a great opportunity to play with, and for me, I get this question asked a lot. You don't choose on draft day who you go to, so I just want to sit there, in Kansas City, and
with your cap on, with the Bijan cap on.
I'll make sure that's right in front of me. And whoever picks me, man, it's gonna all be a blessing.
I say Dallas because I'm a Dallas kid. I'm like, go to the Cowboys, or if you're not going to do that, then go to the Steelers because our bottle's yellow and black. So we don't.
And this is the benefit of being the host, because you said Dallas, and I'm from the Bay Area.
Oh no.
San Francisco 49ers. Just saying.
But you guys have a great running back.
We could have another one. They need more mustard. They need quality mustard in
You
San
got no
Francisco.
mustard running backs.
Got no mustard.
Thank you so much for joining.
Man,
I'm very impressed by what you're doing. Thank you, Craig, for being a great partner and mentor. Thank you for releasing this delicious mustard. And you did not bring me some mustard. It's okay next time. Hopefully I've earned it. Your featured session, Bijan Mustardson and the future of NIL partnerships, is happening today, March 12th at 2:30 p.m. in the Austin Convention Center Ballroom A. You can see our complete schedule of upcoming studio interviews on our website at sxsw.com/studio. And these interviews are live streaming during the event on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/sxsw. I'm your host, Bijan Mustardson. Thanks for watching.